Hello YouTubers, this is Demon0981 again, and back from my little hiatus. Boy, how can I start this one off? Well, you all saw what the title of this video was going to be, so obviously you knew what we were in for. Now, whenever you watch something on TV or in theaters, there's always going to be a character or two that's just going to drive you up the wall for some unknown reason. Like, it could be because they're stereotypically portrayed in a way that is meant to be annoying, and you've seen this character in the past has done right, yet somehow has been completely taken out of its own comfort zone. Or it's a character that was deliberately made to be unlikable. Now, I've comprised a list of the top 13 characters I believe are the most hated among viewers. And you can agree with me, or you may not agree with me. It's all up to you. Now, there's going to be a big rule in this. Some entries are going to have more than one character, mostly because they're just as hateable as because the former is just as hateable as is the latter. Or it can be an entire cast of characters. In fact, there's two entries on this list that are just that. So, without further ado, let's go on and with the top 13 hateable characters. These can be either animated or live action. And I'll explain why I do not like these characters. There's in great detail. Number 13. It's a tie between Majin Buu and Hercule, or Mr. Satan, from Dragon Ball Z. Now, I forget which channel this one was from, but Five Goku something or other made a list of the top worst anime villains and put Majin Buu at number 1, mostly for the reasons why I'm going to explain. Now, if you've all seen Screw Attack's Death Battle episode between Kirby and Majin Buu, you pretty much know what he can do. If not, I'll explain. Majin Buu is a man-child of an alien, and who's mostly comprised of modeling and clay-like substance, which means he can shapeshift into basically anyone he wants, take pieces of himself off, throw him at an enemy, and then absorb said enemy back into his own body. Much like how Cell did this by absorbing the souls of others, but in a more annoying way. His voice is very grating to ears, and his appearance overall is just plain old infantile at best. Now, among his various powers are, or as I mentioned before, endurability, is able to withstand and most forms of damage. It has been known and seen to be affected by normal bullets. Sure, you can take a barrage of punches, but bullets go right through him. Can survive the vacuum of space, has enough power to destroy a planet, and his most annoying power of all, turning anyone he wants into snack food by emitting a laser from his antenna, which was demonstrated against the Demon King Dabura, or Dabura, I don't know. The guy that kind of looks like the devil. Full mess with Dracula. And proceeds to turn and said character into a life-size cookie version of them and eat them. Which ties into our second character. And the reason how Majin Buu got defeated in the first place throughout the entire series. Hercule. Now Hercule is on this list mostly because, well, not only the fact is he the only character that managed to defeat Majin Buu, but because he's one of those characters that people seem to hate the most. We've all been there. Someone who takes credit for something he didn't and have nothing to do with is virtually powerless, but that makes a big name of himself by basically copying the credit off of other fighters. Now, while Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the other fighters have been going up against Cell, Hercule has been taking credit for Cell's defeat, which is highly inexcusable. And while Majin Buu gave him a bit of a chance to fight him, and at some points had one of the main characters destroy themselves in the process of eliminating Buu, and basically giving the finger to all DBZ fans by coming back to life through osmosis. Now on to number 12, Chris McClane from the Total Drama series. Now, if you've seen my other anime villains list, or maybe it was the Cartoon Network's villains list, you pretty much know why I consider Chris McClane a villain. This is the reason why he's hated among anyone who has seen Total Drama Island and all the spin-offs after that. He's self-arrogant. He puts the camper / contestants in death-bringing events, such as pulling up against animals that can basically kill them, surrounding his contestants in hazardous environments, and only cares about his appearance and in ratings. And here's the big thing. Knew one of the characters was evil and did nothing about it. If you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about Scarlet, a character who nobody knew would have been a villain until that one moment where the entire island goes haywire. And at the end of one of the Total Drama series, he was arrested, but somehow made bail and got out. On to number 11. Just by a sheer coincidence, he broke his own rules in several challenges, as in the past. Don't know what I mean? Watch the series for yourself and make a list. Number 11. It's another tie, and it's Benson and Rigby from Regular Show. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, Rigby's hateable, that's for sure, but why is Benson on the list? Well, how should I put this? I'll get to Benson in a minute or so, but I want to hammer Rigby here first. Now, Mordecai and Rigby are the two main characters of Regular Show. We pretty much know that from Season 1, Episode 1. Now, Mordecai is basically the reason why Rigby got the job at the park. Pretty much had to lie in order to get Rigby hired. Because as the series progressed, Rigby proved to be immature, or egotistic in a way, lazy, insubordinate at times. Is basically he's one of those people we all know. You try and make things better for yourself, and your friend doesn't seem to get the point. And if you don't take your job seriously enough, chances are you will be fired. And Rigby and Mordecai have both gotten, and this from Benson, if you don't do a blah 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 job, you're fired. That's one of the reasons why Benson's hated. But the biggest thing Rigby is hated for is the episode where the park's getting audited and nobody can figure out how to do this particular task. So Mordecai gives Benson and pops and skips the idea of hiring Rigby's younger brother Don, and who, surprisingly enough, is taller than Rigby. And the whole time you just see Rigby devolve into a really hateful person. And while everyone else seems to be liking the guy, and why wouldn't you? He's completely likable. And then we have one of those heart-to-heart moments where Don's trying to figure out why Rigby doesn't like him. And Rigby just says the most subtly hurtful thing a brother can say to his sibling. And it basically goes like this: I don't understand why you're mad at me. Oh, you want to know what my problem is with you? You were born. Something along that line, but you go and get the point. That's one of the very few things you should never say to a relative, especially a younger relative. And if Benson and the others didn't make Rigby apologize to him, Don would have just let the park get terminated. And also there's the episode where Rigby switched fortunes with Benson, giving the latter increasingly bad luck, mainly to the point where he loses the entire park to this, and I know I'm going to get flagged for this, Chinese warlock. Really? It's bad enough that you and to go with the stereotype of an ancient Chinese sorcerer, you had to make him a warlock too with a fanny pack. And the one episode where Rigby should have been fired, he didn't. And that was the episode where Rigby hires an imposter, I forget the name, who starts out as an otter, then turns slowly into Rigby. And while everyone else is liking this doppelganger, Rigby is doing exactly what Hercule was doing, taking credit for something he didn't do. Now on to Benson. Now, for those of us who've worked in large corporations or even small businesses, we all have this kind of boss. Someone who just won't let you work, or is constantly breathing down your neck. And even though you've only screwed up maybe once or twice, Benson is constantly on Mordecai and Rigby's back. Mostly because of the things Rigby has done. I'm not kidding. Look at almost every episode of regular show. Half the things Mordecai and Rigby get in trouble for, Rigby is partly responsible, or mainly responsible. And that catchphrase of Benson's, "Do this or you're fired," is really irritating at times. And then we expect to feel sorry for him. I mean, the episode where Benson is replaced with another other manager and thus is fired. No. No, you can't make a character likable, well, just by having something bad happen to them, when beforehand he's been unlikable up to that point. And another unlikable moment of Benson has to be that foosball table episode, where he doesn't trust Mordecai and Rigby. He gives him the task of removing all the gum from the benches or whatever. And they can have this old foosball table they find in the garage. Now here's the kicker. Even though Mordecai and Rigby do kind of end of ways off on some of their assignments, this one they actually managed to complete. And Benson just gives away in the foosball table. And we're with Mordecai and Rigby at this point. And they have a right to be mad. And even to the point of just leaving Benson to walk home by himself. At least that episode definitely proves how much of a jerk Benson can be. Now for number 10. A lot of us are gonna have something in common with this. The Mysterious Mr. Enter has had to say about this one. I'm pretty sure a lot of other animated reviewers have said that their say about this, so I'll just say the name. Bubsy Bobcat from the Bubsy Lost Pilot. Enough said. Number 9. I forget the last name, but you'll know what show what I mean, and when I say the show's title. Megan from Drake and Josh. Now, one of Dan Schneider's most popular live-action shows, those after the cancellation of all of that, and Kenan and Kel, was Drake and Josh, featuring Drake Parker and Josh Bell as stepbrothers. And every now and then they get into trouble through some odd coincidence. But there's that one character that TV Tropes has dubbed the Scrappy. A relative who is just there to be annoying. And Megan's definitely it. And Megan is going to be an example of a lot of characters on this list. And what I mean is, she's a brat. She always gets what she wants. And so in the end, she gets others in trouble for no fault of the latter's own fault or faults. And number 5, if they never get punished for what they have done. Now, if you've seen The Mysterious Mr. Enters Arthur's Big Hit review, you'll know exactly what I mean. And Megan's the same way as DW. She's constantly annoying her brothers. She gets them into trouble with various things, and she never pays the consequences for it. A perfect example, love me, I cannot remember the title of this episode, but the synopsis is this. Megan is not allowed to have any pets. That's said her parents. However, one night, Drake and Josh wake up and find that Megan has purchased a sheep online and has been hiding it out in the garage. Excuse me a minute. Nope, never mind. And so the guy is her kind of juggling in the idea, well, what should we do? Should we tell Mom and Dad that Megan has a sheep in the garage? Or should we just let this one and go and let her get in trouble by herself? To be honest, I would have picked both ideas. Mainly because Megan deserves to be in trouble. Oh, because in the past episodes beforehand, she has framed her brothers for an exploding chili incident, and basically trapped them inside of a tree house that they were rebuilding, and among other things. But this one episode really hit the nail on the head with me, or how I can hate a sister character like this. And it wouldn't be until Henry Danger when we got Piper. Number 8. Johnny Test Johnny Test. Basically take Dee Dee from Dexter's laboratory and reverse the gender, or roles. Well, basically Johnny is exactly like Dee Dee. Number 7. When Earl pulled lemon grabbed from Adventure Time. Now I know I mentioned lemon grab in my Cartoon Network's villains list. But I decided to add him to this list mostly because he's annoying. Not only is he purposely meant to be annoying and with his shrieking voice, but basically becomes more monstrous and more dictator-like as the show progresses. Number 6. Now, a lot of us saw this one coming, and some of us never knew. I placed Eddie's brother, Sarah and Jimmy, and Ed from Ed and Eddie at number 6. I mean, you can see why. Well, for all those of us who have seen Ed and Eddie's big movie, big picture, or we were expecting what has been hinted throughout the entire series is the existence of Eddie's brother. And we all wanted to know, what did this guy look like? Is he really all that Eddie said he would be? And what's he gonna do to the kids at the college set if they catch the Ed's at his brother's house? Well, as luck may have it, we do get to see him for the first time. Actually, no, I take that back. First and only time. And at first, we actually like him. Because, well, he does say he's going to help Eddie out until we get to see the sadistic elder brother side of him. What I mean is he pulls the older brother being a bully trope kind of a little too far. By basically hurting Eddie to the point where he says uncle, makes fun of Double D, and basically is just a big jerk. Kind of put his older brother as look like nothing but assholes and bullies. Now, I put Sarah and Jimmy on this list also because there are numerous reasons. Sarah is a Megan, and pure and simple. Jimmy is sort of like Sarah. In other words, it's compared to Joker and Harley Quinn, Sarah's more like Joker, Jimmy is Harley, just by coincidence, in comparison. What I mean is, Sarah is constantly threatening Ed, telling her mother if Ed's not doing what she wants. It's in the episode where Ed has this horrible dream about Johnny. The episode starts off by just showing Ed blissfully playing with the paddle ball, and Sarah just getting mildly annoyed. And to the point where she takes said paddle ball and tries to cut the rubber band and off. Ed takes it away from her, or out of fear, and she straight up tattles on him. Now, Sarah has gone with a lot of crap that she's done to Ed and Eddie throughout the entire series. Or did I say city? Jimmy has been her follower, slave. But there's one episode a lot of us can agree is one of the worst. And I wish the Mysterious Mr. Enter would review this one. And if it smells like an Ed. The Hardcore Kid has to say about this episode. A lot of other anime reviewers have to say about this one. I'm going to give it a whack. A parade, some made-up holiday in the cul-de-sac, and it's supposed to be like Valentine's Day. So the other kid has come up with this huge paper-mache heart, and it's all led by Jimmy. And out of nowhere, the Eds come in, and just to get out the episode of the plot. And basically all that happens is Eddie gives Jimmy a wedgie, which everyone laughs at him for. Or not only are the Ed's laughing, Kevin's laughing, Rolf's laughing, Naz is laughing, and Johnny's laughing. Naz is also laughing. But I think also Sarah was laughing at one point. Add hypocrite to Sarah as repertoire. So Jimmy decides to get revenge on the Eds by basically framing them for things they didn't even do. Like wiping out Old Plank's mouth, or impaling in a paper-mache heart with a hockey stick, and stealing a paintbrush. Which of course everyone seems to turn on the Eds. Now I want to stop right here for a minute and to explain how this is completely wrong. Double D and Ed didn't do anything wrong. The only person who's in the wrong here is Eddie. The other two shouldn't even been involved. And so, while the Eds are basically trying to figure out who's framing them, someone keeps on leaving fake hints and clues. Then we seem to come to an end, and where they take a slab of the sidewalk with a painted footprint or shoe print and to Jimmy's place where he's practicing hockey and holding a hockey stick. So right then and there, Eddie he accuses Jimmy. Now remember this, as Jimmy he acts honest by saying that his father is making him practice. This is how much he hates hockey. And crushes his feet with a sidewalk piece. He's cut to commercial. Oh, he had then fought in Johnny, in plank covered in jujubes, which is like fruit snacks. And they try to figure out how we get this. Meanwhile, all this is going on. The other kids on the cul-de-sac come up and see the Ed, that's with Johnny, and accuse them of doing the deed. And basically you have the Eds on the run. The Eds escape them only to find themselves cornered between being snagged up by the other kids and being snot by the Canker sisters. So, near the end of the episode, the Eds are caught and basically duct taped to this fence where fruit is being thrown at them. And we also have to agree with Double D at this point. It's something doesn't quite add up. Something seems to be missing throughout all this. That is until Jimmy is stopped by Raw. Far more jujubes. While Jimmy has his back turned, the Eds spot a paint spattered boot sticking out of his back pocket. Yeah, so basically Jimmy is the antagonist of this episode. Motivation? Eddie giving him a wedgie. And I will say this though, in the movie, Sarah and Jimmy have absolutely no idea what's going on, but the bottom line is they want to see the Eds get pummeled, owned by the others, for some unknown reason. Other than the fact that Sarah is mullet, and wants to see her brother get brutally maimed. And I will have to ask this though, what the hell happened before the beginning of the movie? They never explain what happened and then surprisingly went wrong, which resulted in everyone and getting the way that they were. Or we never get to see what's under Double D's hat. And we got to see that Canker actually has 3 eyes, or maybe that was just a cartoon effect. I don't know. Bottom line is, what happened in Eddie's big picture show really should be explained. And this is more frustrating than that whole theory about who caused the bite of 1987 in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. And yes, I will be doing a part 3 of my Five Nights at Freddy's review really soon. Number 5. And don't be so surprised if you saw these two coming a mile away. Mr. Krabs and Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm going to say post-first movie. Now, who to start with? Stingy, miserly, crab employer, or smartass, dumbass, fat starfish? You know what, I'll go with the starfish first, because I have a long list of things that Mr. Crab has his hated for. First off, let's start with Patrick. Patrick's not only one of the dumbest characters errors in the show. Oh, and he openly admits it. But he's also one of the most unlikable characters in the entire show, even more unlikable than SpongeBob at times. And here's the thing, he's one of the main cast. Is how can you make one of your main characters more hated than the actual villain? What I mean is, and Mr. Enter has said this before, Patrick can either be a tolerable idiot or intolerable smart aleck at good times. And there's that whole video list of the top 10 Patrick's a Prick episodes. What the hell just telling me? If, for example, go see that video if you don't believe me. As for Mr. Krabs, where do I begin? Well, let's start with the fact that he's greedy, money-grubbing, stingy. He would sell his soul all for money, and has. But so his own employees, he has, is nearly driven his competitor to suicide, and almost succeeded, and nearly poisoned his entire inner revenue, and almost succeeded, and either pays his employees with counterfeit money, not counterfeit, and fake money, like from Monopoly, or bills them for absolutely no reason. He's in basically charges over priced foods and services, as would rather make things himself than pay an expert to actually build, such as a drive-through, his own fun park, or that kind of thing. And the one problem I do have is the episode Squid on Strike, and I swear Steers Mr. Enter has to review this episode, because it would make SpongeBob You're Fired more hated and by him than any other episode. Now, according to what Mr. Enter said in his SpongeBob You're Fired review, SpongeBob has been fired numerous times. I've actually seen these episodes where SpongeBob was allegedly fired. He was fired once in Karate Choppers by mere accident, and he was fired in SpongeBob You're Fired. Just to my knowledge, those are the only two episodes that I know that SpongeBob has actually gotten fired. But Squid on Strike, it's the ultimatum of really ridiculous continuity issues. Now, if you've all seen the end of Squid on Strike, SpongeBob has basically destroyed the Krusty Krab based on what Squidward has said during his protest speech. While Mr. Krabs is walking into the now destroyed Krusty Krabs, he opens up his eyes, falls apart cartoonish fashion, and he says that in order to pay off the damage of what SpongeBob has done, both he and Squidward have to work at the Krusty Krab, are you ready? Forever. They have to work at the Krusty Krab for the rest of their lives. Now, this means that it cannot be fired. You cannot fire them because they're still working to pay off of this debt. Yeah. Which means Squidward quit. He wasn't supposed to. Well, after all, he was forced to be working in order to pay off what SpongeBob had done. And I can't believe there was actually an episode where Mr. Krabs was made likable in the episode Cheapskate Crab or something like that, where he tries to teach SpongeBob how to be a cheapskate too. While they're at this Cheapskate Crab convention, and see who is the stingiest crab in Bikini Bottom. And I've said, and there's at least 4 more entries on this list, and I'm already ready to get mad. Number 4, Roger from American Dad. Now, you're all probably wondering, why would Roger be hated? I mean, sure, he's meant to be hated at times, but why is he hated? Pure and simple, he's kind of like Megan and Sarah. He can basically do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, to whomever he wants, and they'll get out of it scot-free. Such as in the episode where Roger exposes himself to Jeff after being told time and time again, you are not to make contact with any humans without a disguise, because otherwise the CIA would find out, and the entire Smith family would be in jeopardy. This is also bad because Stan himself is an agent of the CIA. Of course, Roger doesn't care. So, he pretends to be Jeff's imaginary friend. And almost to the point where, thankfully exposes Roger as an alien. Now they have to come to a very difficult decision. Do we kill Roger, or do we mind wipe Jeff, or basically kill them both? Gee, I don't know. Roger's been on Earth for 60 years and does jack squat. And Jeff is married to Haley and has a long life ahead of him. I'd say kill Roger. So basically, during this whole decision-making nonsense, Roger stops it in order to say, hey, listen, I know a way to get out of this. He basically calls a ship from his home planet and to come take him back home. And just when you think we will be rid of Roger, he tosses Jeff into the tractor beam, never to be seen again. And does that Willy Wonka quote, no, wait, stop, I'm back. You know the episode where Stan is part of a jury and Roger should rightfully be arrested for what he's done? And it's very surprising that the other jurors couldn't find anything wrong. I don't care what anybody else says, Stan made the right choice. Number 3, I'm just going to say it and flat out, I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the reviews, and that's all I need to see to make this decision. The entire cast of Food Fight. Number 2, Fred and Marvin, and from, well, oh, Fred and Marvin. Yeah, it's bad. And when you have a show that was based off of a YouTube show that was surprisingly popular yet hated at the same time, and only make it to number 2. I would have put the annoying orange, but well, I guess what his appearances in the actual TV series, I'll let it pass. Now, before we get to number 1, and let's revise the review the list. Number 13, Majin, Buu, and Hercule. Number 12, of Chris McLean. Number 11, Benson and Rigby. Number 10, Bubsy. Number 9, Megan. Number 8, Johnny Test. Number 7, Lemongrab. Number 6, abusive older brother and bratty duo. Number 5, Skinflint Crab and Dumb Starfish. Number 4, Roger. Number 3, Food Fight. And number 2, The Result of Fred. Number 1, most of the characters of Family Guy. Now I mean, it is simply this. And look at my hand. And very well. Lois, Chris, Quagmire, Joe, Mort, Tom Tucker, and I believe I said Lois, and Peter Griffin. Yeah, that's only 7 characters, but still. And half of these are the main cast. And remember what I said before, with Patrick, how can you make your main character so unlikable? Well, let's put it this way. Lois is uncaring, and Quagmire's a womanizer, actually. Joe, doesn't quite understand how the law works when it's supposed to work. Chris is like a younger version of Peter. Brian, and thinks he knows everything, and when he doesn't. And Tom is an egomaniac. And well, what Meg said about Peter and Seashell Party, I believe, says it all. Oh, I would have put Peter Griffin by himself, but most of the characters of Family Guy make it to number 1. The only characters that don't make it on this list from Family Guy are Meg and Stewie, because we actually like Stewie, and Meg we're supposed to feel sorry for. The same way we should feel sorry about Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold, mostly because of her neglectful parents. Well, that's it for this list. I will see you in the next video, where hopefully I go over Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I haven't exactly played the game yet, but I've seen enough of gameplay to get a pretty much that's a good old backstory around, as well as a review. So until then, I will see you next time.